Hey guys, hope you're having an awesome day. Today we're going to be working on the EF, but before we start today's video, I want to quickly mention BenkiSpec.com because on the website we have some posters that are for sale. We have the Chaser and the AU Falcon, both going to be signed by myself and dated as well. There's only a few of them left, and you will also get some valve springs from the EF Falcon in every single order until they run out. They're almost gone. So until they run out, you guys are gonna get some valve springs. Yes, from the EF Barra. I'm just gonna throw a couple of these in. Need to give them a nice clean for you guys. Just a sentimental piece of the EF and my car, which is covered in crap right now. So guys, the main focus for today's video is to get most of the stuff mocked up on the Barra in order to fit the intercooler pipes. So I need to install the lower plenum and top plenum, and you may notice it's off since the last video. That's because I had to take it off and get this thing sandblasted by my mate Zach. So shout out to Zach, he sandblasted this thing for me. We still need to take out the throttle body plate thingos. I don't know, the little, I don't know what you call these little flaps, but we need to get rid of these because the turbo won't utilize this at all. But check this out, this thing has come up like brand new. I'm actually shocked. Again, thank you so much, Zach. I also want to show you this. We have the bar sort of mocked up and mounted on. I did a little bit of a cutting here, and you can see there's quite a bit I had to chop out to get this bar on with the intercooler, but honestly, pretty good job. I'm very happy with it. It's going to look good from far away, which is the main thing, right? Also, a little update on the turbo as well. We weren't actually able to get this thing clocked the right way, so I wanted this thing pointing 90 degrees up so that I could have the intercooler piping come up and around through here and down through the battery tray, or close to. The unfortunate problem is the internal wastegate, the bracket that I got with it is sort of impeding on the way that we want this thing rotated. So unfortunately, we're gonna probably have to make a bracket for the internal wastegate, a custom one, in order to get it directly up, because I believe this is a FG setup and not a B series setup, because it's a B series plenum. We also need to remove some of the wiring today, so I'm gonna start trying to figure out how I can get all these cables through. I asked you guys on Instagram if anyone knew how to do this, and a lot of people were just saying, nah, just chop it. But guys, I actually need this stuff. We're gonna get right into it. We gotta get this thing on the road for summer, because that would be awesome. Let's go. So we got the harness out, however we have a bit of a problem. Thank you, bird. That's not the problem. It's now the next day, and I wasn't originally planning on showing this to you guys because I'm genuinely ashamed of doing this, but I'll explain the reason why I did it, because I'm a fool. Anyway, so to get the harness out, I ended up chopping it because I was getting so frustrated. You know, I spent about 2 hours, 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours trying to pull that harness, and multiple attempts, and I just haven't been able to get it out. We almost got it out. However, we tried to stick one plug through, and there was another thing in the way, and the way that we did it meant that we sort of anchored it in, so it wasn't able to move through to the engine side or through to the chassis side, and it was stuck like that for about half an hour. You know, I was doing my head in, and there's not a lot of room to like get into the harness from the passenger side. Like, it's a nightmare, and I'm sure a lot of the Ford guys are, you know, laughing at me right now because they've done it a million times. But dude, this is not easy to work on. I've worked on many different cars, mostly Japanese cars, and bro, Fords are not fun to work on. Anyway, so I chopped the harness, and I am slowly stitching it all back together. I've done about, I don't know, 75% of the cables right here. Bill, if you see this, sorry. He's doing my wiring harness. I'm gonna probably have to get him to double check my work, but it is what it is at this point. Good fun, very good fun. So here's all the harnesses put together. How on earth does anyone figure out how to connect all these damn plugs together and get this running in a car that it's not supposed to be in? I wish I knew how to do stuff like this, but this is not something that I ever really want to look into. God damn, that's a rat's nest. Okay, we're finally able to start putting the Barra back together, and we've also got Lachlan in the garage as well, using my space. What are you doing today, fam?
Doing some diff bushings.
Really?
Make my car skid ready.
Oh.
Track skid ready. We don't do anything on the street.
No, we don't, because that's illegal.
Yeah, of course.
Why do you sound like you're joking?
I'm being fully serious. Always 100% legal in this garage. Nothing dodgy ever goes on.
So what we're going to do is start putting the plenum all together. So I've got the lower portion, which again looks absolutely awesome thanks to Zachy boy. This thing literally looks brand new. We are ready to get the intercooler piping on. So I do need to start figuring out what bends I need and where I'm gonna route it. I had someone come over and buy some Facebook Marketplace parts. They were like, I should run it down through the fender right here. So there's actually heaps of room. There's a little vacuum box here though, and I don't exactly know if I need this. So I'm gonna have to talk to Bill, and he's gonna probably tell me if I need this or not, but it'd be pretty cool having it run through there rather than really close to the ABS, which I don't want to delete because I sort of want to have this thing as a daily. I'm thinking of running it through here and up through the fender where this box will be, and just straight to the plenum right there. So I'd probably need like a little bit of a bend there, another little bend, and then another 90-degree down or something like that. I'm still torn between doing stainless or aluminium cooler piping. Stainless will be a lot easier to source and a lot cheaper, whereas aluminium is going to be, you know, a lot better for the job. But I've seen a lot of people do stainless intercooler pipes. As for this one, I'm going to have to run it through the battery tray. So we're going to have to drill a bit of a hole somewhere in here, and that should be too bad to do. But I also have to think of where I'm going to run the filter for the turbo. I sort of want a big boy turbo filter coming out right here. So yeah, bit complicated. Hey guys, another day, another dollar. We're back here in the garage. Lachlan has been making some hectic progress on the S15, ain't that right?
If you call this hectic progress, one word: nightmare.
Nightmare. Also off camera as well, I went ahead and started drilling into my virgin body EF Falcon, and it was very difficult to do. I bought myself a hole saw. This bit worked pretty perfectly. I'm actually very happy with it, except it cost a lot of money from Bunnings. But we managed to get some of the intercooler piping mocked up. So I actually picked this up from Tristan's shop yesterday. So shout out to Turbo Tristan, he hooked me up. We got some Raceworks pipes on here as well. Of course, Raceworks is mostly what I use with fittings and hoses and all that. Their stuff is absolutely awesome and they sell everything. If you want some good quality products, then head to raceworks.com.au. We also have our pipe mocked up here. This is just a 2.5 inch at the moment. It's a 90-degree bend, just to sort of mock up and see what we need to do next. But going to the intercooler, coming out here, you can see the hole that we've also drilled. This goes directly to the throttle body. Have a look at that. We do need to drill probably a little bit more out of this to get a better fitment, because currently it's resting on the hole right there. But other than that, this is what we're dealing with so far. Not too bad at all. But because this needs to be taken on and off, eventually if I get into an accident or whatever and I just need to pull things apart, I'm gonna have to make a bit of a join. So what I'm gonna do is just have a 90 coming off this and probably have it stop about there and put a coupling on. So I'll have a total of 3 couplings, one on the intercooler, one halfway down, and one also on the throttle body. As for this side, I've decided to do a bunch of 90-degree bends. So I'm gonna have to reclock the turbo. Like I said before, turbo's gonna come up and I'm gonna get some pipes. I'm gonna put a 90-degree bend coming directly off the compressor, and I'm also gonna put another 90 coming straight down, then another 90 coming down into the battery tray there. So it should look something like this when it's all complete. Very excited. I'm gonna start drilling, start cutting, and we'll see how we go. This might turn out mad, or it might turn out bad. Oh no. Oh no. So we have to stop there because the drill bit that I have decided to break on me and I got halfway. I don't know if I was drilling at too fast of a speed, but it seems like it's, yeah, burnt out or something and I haven't been able to drill much more than that. But yeah, I'm happy with the progress that we've made so far. Very happy with this side because that's pretty much done. All we need to do is get a 93-inch and we're good for that side. And then obviously replace this with a black coupling because I don't want to, you know, have a blue coupling. I don't think I'll even be able to see that anyway. But overall, pretty happy with the progress. After the intercooler piping, there isn't really much left to go. There's probably fueling. Then I have to do the exhaust piping. That's, I guess, probably going to be the hardest bit after the fuel stuff. Then the wiring should be pretty simple from there. Bill is going to be hooking it up. And then coolant lines, oil feed lines, oil drain lines for the turbo. And it's pretty much done. I mean, there's not much else to it. I believe we can run standard coil packs. That should make us some decent power. And I also need to get the AC lines done. I probably need to get like a whiteboard in here or something so I can sort of track everything that I need to do because currently it's all in my head and I have to think about what I need to do rather than be able to look at a board and know what to do. So it's a little bit unorganized and we also need to put a lot of the interior back together because it turns out I didn't even need to take much of it apart to get that wiring harness out because I could have chopped it from the very beginning. Oh, that's also something that I didn't tell you guys. So I dropped the harness off to Bill and he told me that I didn't actually need to take out the harness entirely. I could have chopped it where I chopped it and he wasn't going to be using any cables from a certain point. And where I chopped it was actually a perfect point. And turns out, yep, I just didn't need to put it all back together. We have the EF Falcon all packed up, all the pipes are off now because we need to start welding. And as you know, it's another day. This video has been filmed over a week and you'll understand why in the next video because I started filming the next video yesterday, which is like 7 days since I last uploaded because the plans have been all over the place, honestly. More on that in the next video, but here's a promise for you guys. In the next video, the intercooler piping should be done, should be finished, and we can start moving on to bigger and better stuff. So super excited for this thing. The intercooler piping is gonna pretty much complete most of the fabrication for now until we start doing the exhaust. The intercooler piping and the exhaust is probably gonna be the hardest stuff that we ever do on this car because I'm not a fabricator by trade. I'm just a DIY sort of dude. So we got our new gas bottle, start the weldos. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, please hit that like button, really helps me out. I really need to start planning my days better and work on sort of a routine because as you can tell, it's all over the place. But yeah, I appreciate you guys supporting my builds, supporting the channel, and I will talk to you all in the next one. See you later, love you all.